I saw something on Twitter during the commercial break. Is this true? I guess it is, Solana, from Heat Muse. Only one coach did not get fired or dismissed during LeBron's tenure with the team, and that was Erik Spoelstra. Yeah. Everywhere else he's been, at least one coach has been fired, right? Because his first time in Cleveland, they probably went through a bunch of coaches.
So he tried to get Spo fired.
He tried. Mm-hmm. He tried. This is the only place that said no.
Here is each coach. This is from Sporting News. Each coach LeBron James has played for in his career. Paul Silas was his first coach in Cleveland, first 2 seasons. And then Brendan Malone was the interim coach because they fired Silas midway through the 2005 season. Then Mike Brown was his coach from 2005 until 2010 when he left. Erik Spoelstra from 2010 to 2014. He left back to Cleveland. David Blatt for 2 seasons. See ya. Ty Lue from 2016 to 2018. LeBron left to LA and Ty Lue left to LA as well. Luke Walton, 2018 to 2019, his first stint with the Lakers. Frank Vogel, 2019, took over for Walton until 2022, fired. Now Darvin Ham, 2022 to 2024, fired this offseason.
Yeah, today.
Mm-hmm.
LeBron will get a coach fired.
LeBron will fire coaches. He's a part of all these decisions.
LeBron will get a coach fired.
Because it can't be his fault. He's LeBron James.
Well, there's some truth to that. Like he does what he needs to do on a basketball court. That's pretty inarguable. But I would submit, again, his most successful tenure was with Miami. Who do we have on this week that ranked his Miami championships last?
Gelb.
Zach Gelb. It's ridiculous. Like that was the best LeBron ever had it for 4 seasons. You know what I mean? They weren't scratching and clawing to make like everything happened exactly the way he always envisioned it. And a lot of it was due to the structural integrity of the Heat organization from Pat Riley on down.
If that first year, what was that? The Dallas loss with Dirk?
Yeah.
That was on LeBron. That wasn't on Spo.
Yeah. But I'm saying the 4 years, they cruised to the NBA Finals every year. It's always LeBron. It's always like it seems like scratching and clawing, and he's got to take over and whatever. The 4 seasons he was here, they cruised to the NBA Finals every season. There wasn't the very beginning when he had the bump on Spo, the bump gate, and then he found out real quick. Oh, this isn't like I'm used to. Like Spo's the guy. They're not bending on this.
But just look at what those teams did following LeBron's departure and every stint, right? He left Cleveland the first time, and Dan Gilbert says, you'll never win an NBA title before we do. Well, the Cavs had the number 1 overall pick like 3 of the 4 seasons that he was gone. They took Anthony Bennett 1 year. I still laugh about that. After he left Miami, now, granted, the Heat kept Wade and Bosh, but even after that, like they've gone to the NBA Finals 2 times since he left, and they went back to the playoffs with multiple cores, like D-Wade, Bosh. Bosh got injured. D-Wade, Goran. They were a game away from playing them in the Eastern Conference Finals in 2016 as well. And then they re-upped in the Jimmy Butler era and went to the playoffs how many years? The Cavs, after he left, they were pretty bad for 2 seasons until recently when they got Donovan Mitchell. And who knows with the Lakers, right? But
I know. Because I know what they were like before he got there.
Yeah.
Right. It was a complete disaster. It speaks so much. I'll call it structural integrity again, but it speaks so much to the structural integrity of the Miami Heat.
And with that stretch you're talking about, Solana, Chris Bosh had a career-ending, blood clot, health situation. If Bosh was healthy, you'll see what they could have done, man. I know I give Chris Bosh a hard time about being number 3 and taking the back seat. I really want to see if Chris Bosh and Dwayne Wade, what they could have done if he didn't get sick.
Would have been fun, man.
Yeah.
Would have been a lot of fun.
LeBron, everywhere LeBron leaves other than the Heat, they're terrible.
That's what I'm saying.
He leaves Cleveland, they're terrible. Whenever he leaves LA, if he retires or whatever, they're going to be terrible. It is Huck. It's a great phrase, structural integrity, because that's what the Heat have, is structural integrity. They went. What was that season with James Johnson, whatever his name is, and when they won like 40 out of 41 games.
Well, they started. I think 11-31, and then they won 31 of their net. They went 31-11 the second half of the season.
That was Deion Waiters and James Johnson.
Come on, man. How do you win 30 games with those two guys?
We talk about culture and Heat DNA, and it may sound corny, but it's not unwarranted.
No. Not at all. And
Weird
it's crazy
conversation to have after the last game that they played, where they looked like a high school team against NBA teams.
They scored 84 points. I told you, Ava dropped 15 and a quarter the other night.
They shot 3 of 29 from 3.
It is a shame. It's a shame that Spo has not won a Coach of the Year.
It's insulting.
It really is.
I'm done with the sport until he wins a Coach of the Year.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm giving it up.
This Minnesota Nuggets series is about to get good.
Yeah, I'm excited about that one. I'm back in.
Hey, Hawk, or Crowder, any of you guys see Charles Barkley the other day? He basically came on
that he's not going to NBC. If Ernie's not going, what was
Cheney?
Whatever. Cheney. So what? No,
so it's Ernie, Cheney, Shaq.
I mean, you got guts to go back to Barkley.
I do. No, Ernie gave him like a 2-3 minute window towards the end of the show where he just called out people who were blaming Frank Vogel or blaming Darvin Ham. He said, like, enough with calling for these coaches to get fired. How about blaming the players on the court? How about blaming the front offices for building those bad teams? He's like, the Suns and the Lakers didn't suck because of Darvin Ham and Frank Vogel. They sucked because the players sucked and because the teams weren't built properly. And I do think, like, with Frank Vogel and Darvin Ham, there's clear deficiencies with them coaching and maximizing talent. But I also agree with them, which is like the Lakers never once put a team of just 3-point shooters around LeBron except for 1 year in 2020, and they won the NBA title. And the Phoenix Suns got 3 unbelievable players.
We had the conversation, though, because Crowder asked it, what if Erik Spoelstra was the Phoenix coach?
Right.
You think they get swept in round 1? I don't. I'm out on Frank Vogel. You know what I mean? Like, because I've seen this. Like, he had LeBron. He's got KD. Okay. Like, you got some pretty good pieces there. So, Frank Vogel, I'm done with. Darvin Ham, I mean, could he went to the playoffs twice in 2 seasons, right? 2 seasons as head coach, went to the postseason both times. I don't know.
I would say you could criticize Pelinka. That's the LA guy, right?
Yeah,
Pelinka, whatever, the big old goofy tall dude with the big Adam's apple. Yeah. You can criticize him for the rosters. You can't criticize James Jones, Bradley Beal, Devin Booker, and Kevin Durant. Like, that's on them. So I would say LA and Phoenix are 2 different situations. Phoenix, I would look at KD funny. In LA, I would look at Pelinka funny.
All right, let's get headlines here for the 5 o'clock Funky Mood, for the 5 o'clock Pelinka happy
What's
hour.
His name again?
Pelinka. Rob Pelinka.
It was just funny. You have like a very hard, like, Pelinka. I don't know. Let's get headlines here. Let's get headlines with Alejandro Solana.
You're driven by the new Palmetto Ford Truck Super Center. Why buy your truck at a car store? Palmetto Ford, we know truck. Somebody does
Please
text
come out
in.
of the box with the NBC story. Please, just come out of the box.
Somebody texted in that they tried to get Spo fired. I remember sitting in Section 115, T-shirts were being passed around. We want Riley. Chance, game after game of we want Riley for the first 2 months of that season.
Admittedly, it didn't start well. You remember the offseason and what we thought was going to happen? They were going to go 82-0. And it didn't start well. I would have signed up for Riley taking over for Spo because I had seen it before. Riley took over for Stan Van Gundy, and it worked very well. So that's why I'm saying the structural integrity of that organization, they didn't buckle when everyone would have said, yeah, this makes sense. He'll respect Riley. He can't respect Erik Spoelstra. And the Heat were like, no. This is how we do things here. So, yeah, but I would have called for Riley in that situation. I couldn't believe what was happening. What were they, like 9-8 or something?
10-11. Or, yeah. 11-10 when they went up to Dallas. You had Bumpgate.
But Riley was in the building, and don't be naive to think Riley didn't talk to everybody about this.
Oh, I mean, listen, that came from on down. Like, yes. Yeah, that was Riley saying, no. And I'm sure Riley was saying to him, no, you are playing for me. Like, if you don't think you're playing for me because you're playing for Erik Spoelstra, I'm sure Riley at the beginning right there said, no, you are playing for me.
It was my point when we were doing radio back when that was happening, and I was like, you don't think Riley and Spo's offices are right next to each other? They're talking about every game plan. They're talking about every adjustment. Riley is a head coach. He's not just a president of basketball operations. Like, all of this. Structural integrity. It's a great point about how this Heat team structured and why they continue to be successful no matter who the hell's on the roster.
They were 9-8, by the way, when they lost to the Mavericks. They won their next 12, and they won 20. They went 21 of 22 in their next 22 games after Bumpgate.
So LeBron got it turned around.
Spo.
Woke him up. Hey, you're going to have to actually coach.
Don't touch nobody. You know, that's my rule. Don't touch people. Don't touch anybody.
I'm walking this way. Don't get in my way. I'm walking, right? I'm walking to the bench. I do this after every timeout. I walk right to the bench. Don't get in my way.
Get my shoulder.
We did talk about the Heat having exit interviews. This is hilarious. Now, Hoch, you mentioned in the previous segment that Jimmy Butler, Terry Rozier, and Tyler Hero chose not to speak with the media today. Again, voluntary if you're just joining us. They all their players, I think 17 or 18 players, had their exit interviews internally with the team. But 5 Reasons Sports is reporting that Butler, Hero, Rozier, and Love declined the media availability. And Niko Jovic, he didn't decline, but he just didn't know about it. So he just didn't meet with the media because he had no idea about it, which I think is just hilarious. Like,
I could understand that.
20-year-old, he's adorable, just had no idea.
I could see that. He's like, oh, I'm here. A lot of media assembled just to watch us drive in and out of the facility today, but whatever. And then, somebody calls him and they're like, yeah, so how many media... How long did your media session go? My what?
What did you say? What did he say?
My what? Yeah, my what?
He got to get 4 suits for the price of 1 suit. That's how he talks.
Turned him into the lead from like Fiddler on the Roof.
It like you know what it is? It's Eddie Murphy in Coming to America with the soup.
Oh,
aha, aha, my what? Waiter, try the soup.
Is it too cold?
Aha.
Is the soup too hot? Just try the suit. They're on the beach right now, man.
Yeah, they don't care.
Yeah, once it's over, it's over. I've said that a number of times. Like, yeah, you want to win, and then you don't win, and then let me go enjoy Miami.
You all have to go back to your normal lives, crappy lives.
I didn't say that.
Well, sounds very similar to LeBron to me.
I just know after week 17, I was at Smith and Lewinsky's.
Smith and Walensky.
Who was that?
You said Smith and Lewinsky.
Lewinsky.
You were thinking of Monica Lewinsky.
She got the bad knee.
No. Well, I mean, you'll search her up.
Your weather?
My what?
My God. Smith and Lewinsky.
Who is that?
The intern with Bill Clinton was Monica Lewinsky.
That was her.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
My God.
That's better than a steak.
Hoch, you have a great Bill Clinton impersonation, like a fake.
Thank you for remembering.
Yeah, I remember that.
What did I? What do I always say though?
Well,
it's your former president, Bill Clinton here. I also like to eat at that steakhouse. Monica Lewinsky. Mr. President, that's Smith and Walensky. I winked at the fella. I gave them a wink. I gave them the intern wink.
Shoot me the contact, Bill.
There was a week during the pandemic where Hoch did the whole show like that. Inter Miami, they play against the New York Red Bulls tomorrow at 7:30 p.m. I believe you can listen to that game here on WQAM. Panthers will open up the second round of the playoffs on Monday. The winner between tomorrow's Game 7 between Boston and Toronto plays the Florida Panthers. So we'll all be tuned in tomorrow. Los Marlins, they're on the road today. First of 6 straight in Cali. They play the Oakland Athletics at 9:30 p.m. You guys see this NBC story?
Dave and Buster's. I barely know her.
And Odell Beckham Jr. is headed to Miami officially on a 1-year, $3 million deal. Could be worth up to $8.25 million.
My what?
I like the OBJ edition.
Any update on Anthony Stolar's penis?
Oh, my goodness.
Your weather from the Demesman and Dover Law Firm, youraccidentattorneys.com.
Depends what your definition of is.
Youraccidentattorneys.com. Free consultations 24/7 at 866-954-MORE. Partly cloudy, around 80 degrees. Tonight, the lows will be in the mid to upper 70s. That is your weather. Back to you, Bill.
Seems to have gone a little off the rails here.